Hey guys, it's Jamie Knox with The Burning Sage, and this video is seeking to answer the questions: is yoga a religion, and or does it interfere with my belief system? So I think that translates to, can I be of any background, religious, spiritual, non-religious, non-spiritual, and still practice yoga? So let's get started. No, yoga is not a religion. Yoga is a practice of strengthening the body and the mind and the breath and the emotions and becoming more flexible in all of those areas as well. And this practice happens again and again and again so that when you go off of your mat and into the world, you can use those same behaviors in real life. You can ground down, you can connect to your breath. You're strong in the body, you're strong in the mind, you're calm in the emotions, and you're connected to your breath, your life force. The term yoga means union, and it's the union of breath and body. So it's connecting the movement to the breath. So you're always connected to your breathing. It can also refer to the union of community. So you're a lot of times performing yoga with people. And so you're sharing that space and that breath and doing those movements together. So you have this union. So that when you go off into the world, into your communities, that resonates with you. The term asana, so asana is the actual poses, the actual postures, the movement from pose to pose. Asana means to take a seat. And it's not referring to meditation, even though that is a very big component of yoga. But the term to take a seat is talking about your mind. Can your mind take a seat in this pose? What about this pose? So that whether you're sitting in a cross-legged position or standing on your head, can your mind be calm? And again, it's the practice of doing that over and over again so that when you go out into the world, you can put into practice those same behaviors. So, to answer the religion questions, you can be of any religious background and practice yoga. You can always come to your mat. You can always ground down. You can always connect to your breath. You can always open up to something bigger. Yoga encourages, to be a practitioner of yoga, it is encouraged to study spirituality. So if you're coming from a non-religious or non-spiritual place, you can come to your mat and you can go through the practice and connect to your breath, meditate and calm your mind. But there is a piece of the puzzle that might be missing if you aren't connecting in, if you aren't turning inward, if you aren't connecting to something bigger. So built into the philosophy of yoga are these terms, the yamas and the niyamas. And so as a yoga practitioner, these are your duties. So you can see that built in there, along with basic behaviors of being good, a lot like the 10 Commandments, but not negating them. Along with that are terms like self-study, which is not only talking about studying the self, but scriptural study, taking the self and making the self study scripture, and surrender to God. So that's part of being a yogi. So you can come to your practice and you can leave that aside, and that's fine. That's just that piece of the puzzle that's missing. If you do have a spiritual practice or a religious practice, you can come from any religion and that still applies. It's part of going through your practice. It's your moment to connect to whatever you term your higher power, your God. So, namaste, the term namaste. I've had some students hesitate because they are afraid that if they say namaste at the end of a practice, that it may reflect that they're worshiping a deity or a god that doesn't apply to them, since yoga may come from a different part of the world than than they are in now, than they are practicing. So just to get it all out there, please take this home. If you take nothing else from this video, take this home. The term namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. It's beautiful. So I read this article recently. This spiritual person, religious person, didn't suggest, came right out and claimed that yoga, that is built into the philosophy and the practice of yoga to seek and cause demonic trances. So I just want to let you guys know that's not true. That's completely false. There's nothing in the philosophy of yoga that, or the practice of yoga that seeks that trance, that idea, any sort of satanic rituals or anything demonic. In fact, as you probably noticed from the yamas and niyamas, it's quite the opposite. So I hope I've answered some questions. Please text me with more or message me with more. You can text me if you got my number. And let me know what other kind of videos you want to see. And I hope you have a great day. Namaste.